Awesome. What's up, everyone? BallietBran. Happy Sunday. I got another great stream for you. Anyone that's in Hex and that's, been following Richard Hart for a little while, how can you not be grateful every day and be happy every day for what's going on and for having an amazing opportunity? So let me just say what's up to the chat real quick. I'll kind of cover some information on like where you guys and gals can get some, Pulse related merch. I have a new Pulse shirt that's actually drying right now, so I can't wear it right now. But yeah, there's some. Let me mute my audio. There's some really cool merch, and I think a lot of people were wondering, hey, where can you get it? So let's say what's up to the chat right quick. Sir Edwards Tricombe, I see you. How you doing, man? Gerardo, hey, what's up, man? I know Richard shouted you out a couple of times, which is obviously great, but his website's even better, right? Looking at Hex.com. Check out Gerardo. Check out his streams. He recently had one with Joe Paris, something like that, the other day, and then he does really good work. So would love to have you on again sometime, Gerardo. I know you're a busy guy, but it would be cool to chat with you sometime. Hex Conductor, what's up, my friend? Thanks for taking the photo of me and Naga in Vegas. Tav LaRousse, Crypto Ross, ReadMax77 says, "We rich bro, looking forward to your stream." It's true, right? A lot of newfound wealth has been created thanks to Hex and thanks to Richard Hart. And, we've only gone up like 4,000x, which is crazy because I say only. But, Hex is designed to do 6.5 million X, which is what Bitcoin's done, and then more, So that's really, really exciting to think that we're just in so early. And it's exciting to think like how many newly minted millionaires there were, albeit on paper and stuff like that. It's not like they've cashed out all their gains or anything, or some of it's staked and stuff, but crazy to think that millionaires could become billionaires after 1,000x, multimillionaires and stuff like that. Like we could definitely see a lot of trillionaires thanks to Hex, thanks to Pulsechain, things like that. Funding Jim, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Brian Jones, nice to see you. Extremely desirable. Yeah, so without further ado, let me just do the 90-second intro, and then I'll kind of cover, like there's not really a lot to cover, right? I'll cover, like I said, where you guys can get some apparel. Richard Hart had some things on his most recent stream regarding just a couple Easter eggs that he had kind of mentioned that I'll cover. And then, if we can make it about 90 minutes is the goal, then Whales Only is going on at, I believe, like 3:30, which is about 90 minutes from now. So give me just a second. Let me play the intro, and I'll see y'all in 88 seconds.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like. Be sure to share. Be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Stake that hex. 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 Every time I look up, price went up. I go to the store, come back, price went up. Every time I look up, price went up. No matter what I do, price is still going up. Hell yeah. Ching, ching, motherfucker. Ching, ching. I am the book. Ching, ching, motherfucker. I just keep hitting jackpot after motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch.
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.
All right. So once again, happy Sunday. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks, Gary, for being here. If you haven't checked out Gary's channel, he's gifting you Hex or funding Jim. Does really good work, and he's also got a not a mastermind, but like a like a Hex University thing that he's got going on with Miami and Puerto Rico. I think that's awesome. I'd love to check it out for, be one of the people that attend, check it out for a couple weeks, something like that, and network with all of the people and get everything structured properly. So shout out to him. He says, Gerardo is awesome. Great network. Yeah, I've never met a group and community of people that were so talented, were so generous. Just the network that we have currently, not only is it ever expanding, but it seems that if we ever need like design work or, some sort of website work, stuff like that, it seems that you can interact with the people in the community as opposed to, outsourcing and having to go outside of the community. So that's obviously great too, right? If you're going to pay for a service or have someone help you out, why not have it be someone that's in the same community? So Serena, hope you're doing well. Absolute Hex OG. So shout out to her. Tablarus, Yannick Kudeville. First time watcher. Let's go. Hey, awesome. Welcome. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name too bad. Gerardo, yeah, we'll make that happen. Yeah, Gerardo does amazing work. And I'm not the chart guy. I'm definitely not the chart guy. So someone like Wave 3 TV or Gerardo or even Pulse Lord, he does some like TA and stuff like that. Actually, or Hex Tangent. Those guys are all kind of more technical analysis centric and stuff like that. So would love to hear some of his analysis. If you haven't noticed, I did get a new pulse lamp, right, Urch? Right there, you can see the pulse lamp. And so that's pretty cool. If anyone is curious about where I got it, let me post the link in the chat. So that link is just a Telegram group. I think there's like a couple different, creators and whatnot, but that's where I got the Hex lamp and the Pulse lamp. And I've got another Pulse lamp, but it's at the other house. So yeah, let me also show you guys and gals. I know, this is a Hex shirt, got a Hex hat over there, but let me just show you where you can get some of the Hex merch, some of the Pulse merch, because Richard always talks about the logo being copyrighted and stuff like that, but there's ways that people have been able to buy the stuff at least. So let's take a look real quick. We're gonna just go to Etsy.com. One second here. I got a lot of tabs open because I got a handful of things that I'm gonna cover with everyone. So Etsy.com. Let's just make sure y'all can see the screen. Great. So yeah. Just go to Etsy, type in Pulsechain. You can do the same thing with Hex. But so this is the main person that I've been buying from, Crypto Styles, or not Styles, but just Crypto Style USA. So there's a handful of shirts, as you can see, in designs that you got here. I have this one that's coming in, Pulseidians, kind of like it. Got the little Poseidon there. And then this is one that I haven't seen for Hex yet, and I thought it was pretty cool too. So, it's got Hex and pretty much, Saturn and all the other different planets there. So they do some great work. That's just some of their Pulse merch. They do have a channel on Amazon as well. I've got a couple links in the description. Let's see. Let me actually just show you guys something real quick. So instead of typing in Hex, I guess we can just click on the person's channel right here, the Crypto Styles USA. And that'll just bring you to everything that they have. But you can click Hex. Okay, cool. So you can click Hex and you can see, we've got tank tops, we've got bikinis, definitely would like to see some more of those. And, some shorts, some other stuff. So, really, really cool merch. So I think it's awesome to be able to represent wherever you go, right? So that's just where I've gotten mine. Like I said, that's just Etsy.com. Or Amazon.com. They've also got a store under the same merchant name. Thumb the Thumb. Tex Hack says, hello guys and gals, 1.5 billion will be sacrificed easily. Yeah, let's take a look, right? Because that's something that's always ever growing, the sacrifice, and it's curious to look at. So let's do a little refresh here. So we got a total of $573,929,468. Let's call it $469. But about 3 billion Hex have been sacrificed, and so that's really exciting to see because most likely that's Hex that'll never show up on the market again. So we already have a liquidity dynamic. Let's go back here. So we already have a liquidity dynamic in Hex where we've got the minimum viable liquidity to pump, but you can also sell, sell and realize your gains too. But for the fact that 3 billion hex were liquid and are now sacrificed, that's just really bullish in my opinion for something like hex, for something like where the price is going in the future. Crypto Kool-Aid, oi, Bran, what's going on all? Hey, how's it going, man? Crypto Kool-Aid is the pixel wizard. Lion Wings, hi, BallietBran. 1 billion pulse and I make it, right? Yeah, 1 billion pulse is a great number, right? I do have a handful of clips on my channel here, just BallietBran, and I've also got like a playlist that's just like hex clips, something like that. There's also pulse clips there too, but there's this unit bias where people don't like to transact and spend and transfer in decimals, right? Even with Ethereum, its price is so high with the units that it has that now you have to do like 0.06 Ethereum, or even if Lightning Network with Bitcoin was feasible and actually utilized, now you're paying 0.00001 Bitcoin and stuff like that, right? It's just not reasonable. So with Hex, Richard has solved the unit bias there. And then same thing with Pulsechain. So it's cool that Pulsechain is going to have a supply in the trillions, but once that starts off, it's going to be ever diminishing because 25% of the fees are going to, get burned on all the transactions. Shouting out everyone. Yeah, I saw this when I was playing the Naga intro, and yeah, I totally think so. So Dante asks, do you think Hex could 1000x from this point on? Yeah, totally. And I think it's very feasible. I mean, I always like to use the analogy that Richard does, because why not, of what we've seen in the past, right? It's not like you can, say definitively that that's what's going to happen. But just like for the people that are curious about Pulse or like Hex, well, Pulse is a fork of Ethereum, so you can look at what the Ethereum price has done. And then Hex is kind of like a better version of Bitcoin. And so you can look at what it's done. And it's done 6.5 million fold, 6.5 million times. And Hex, I don't even know the exact number. I can actually show you guys, right? Because some of the other streamers won't share this link, but I do, because I've never seen anything bad with it, never seen any malintent. But it's I'll show you guys in just a second. But yeah, pretty much Hex has gone like 3,000, 4,000x, something like that from its all-time low. And yeah, it could definitely do another 1,000. Oh, and then shout out to G2 right there. G2 for that super sticker. Appreciate you, man. All right, let me get back to Dante's point. So that's what Dante's asking. The hexinfo.io website is just taking a couple seconds to load. But yeah, it's definitely feasible. Let me just say what's up to the rest of the chat, then I'll answer that. Crypto Panda, hey, how's it going, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Randy Cox, yeah, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I know, I think she's got a Pulse shirt in that profile, so she's cool. So many Hexican ladies, so many Hexican guys. The like I said, the crew itself, not just in Hex, but in Pulsechain, and even the people that are in the side vibe and stuff like that. All of it, it's just growing exponentially, and that's definitely a sign of like what's to come, right? Because sometimes we'll have like a lagging indicator. And with Pulsechain, we've seen that now we have over 33,000 members compared to Hex, which was like 26,000 on Telegram. And that's a great indicator, because even though Pulse is going to launch at a $0 value and it's going to be airdropped at a $0 value, it really goes to show you how quick it can go up from there, right? I mean, what is your return on investment with something that something that starts at 0? Well, the answer is pretty much infinite, right? Infinite returns. So that's really, really cool. Okay. Give me just a second here. The website's still loading. Yeah, let's say what's up to the rest of the chat here. Kool-Aid, Gerardo, everyone's saying hi to each other. Yeah, Gary's got a couple comments. Let me keep it in order real quick here. Geez, we got a lot of people. Ching Ching. This is my favorite. Love Naga Bo. Yeah, Naga's great. I got to meet him in Vegas for a handful of minutes, and he's a great guy. Okay, so Bree says, what do you think of the possibility that 1.75x volume bonus at the end is a saving grace for those that couldn't sacrifice more than 600,000, I'm guessing 600,000 hex or $600,000 to meet that 1.75 level, outweighs higher time bonus cost. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the 1.75x is great. You know, it's so unique, right? I've never seen anything like the bonding curve that we have with Pulsechain, and I know it's not going to qualify for like the volume bonus, but yeah, you're still getting the 1.75 flat rate. So that's great. I definitely think that, sure, yeah, definitely could be a saving grace. I mean, the thing that's cool about Richard, even with Hex, when he was designing Hex, that he'd always mentioned that he wanted it to be as fair as possible and didn't want, you know, sure, there's going to be other people that have different economic mass. That's just how everything works. But he didn't want people to be able to game the system and stuff like that. So with this Pulsechain sacrifice phase, yeah, even on the last 3 days, or even the total of the 19 days, I think people are going to do, you know, very well being in at the ground floor of a new cryptocurrency that's beating ETH 2.0 to what it's wanting to do. And, you know, even things like Cardano, right? Cardano ADA have been around for many, many years, and they still haven't been able to execute and deploy and actually have the smart contracts on their platform. So Richard's shown the space. I mentioned this on a stream before, but he's really shown the space kind of how like incompetent and like lazy people have been. Like, I don't know if it's incompetent or laziness or just narratives or like a number of everything. But I mean, obviously it's complex and stuff like that. And with people like Ethereum, they're kind of like the first mover advantage and first adopters of the smart contract platform. But with the stuff that Richard is doing, it goes to show you like, yeah, he's really good at being able to have a team of people and have an idea and then execute that idea. Hex OG here had more than one Q share moon. One Q share, what is that, like 10,000 T shares or like 1,000 T shares, something? One quintillion, I think. Anyways, Hugo de Roy, nice to meet you. And the website's still loading, no worries. Jay Everything, what's good, fam? Baggio, sup, Rand? Good to see you. Awesome, good to see you guys. Hey, what's up, Marion? How are you doing? Yo, Hexicans, happy Sunday. Q shares, Frenchy T, how you doing, my friend? Noel Sphinx, aloha. When Etsy Europe? That's a good question. Yeah, Gary says, DM me. I will place an order for a dozen bikinis. Maybe 12 Pulse, 12 Hex. Yeah, that's awesome. Totally. Yeah, I know Nerd Girl. I think she was like the first girl to rock like Hex merch. But she either had like a bikini or some sort of little tank top thing going on. But it's awesome, right? You know, not only do you have you know, an attractive women that people like to look at, but then, you know, you see a logo or a crypto and something like that, and, you know, people are going to be more curious about that. So the marketing itself is great, and the logo itself is great. That's why I've got the lamps here, right? They catch the eye. All right. Let me, since the website finally loaded, I've just got so many tabs open, so some of the bandwidth was getting cut off. But let me show you guys, to that person's point, I think it was Dante, asking like, oh, can Hex do another 1,000x? The answer is definitely yes. But let me show you guys this website. So guys and gals, hexinfo.io. Don't click this because this was when Hex had its adoption amplifier in its initial launch phase. So that's really not going to do anything. I think it's just going to lead you to hex.com pretty much. So we can see some important market data, right? So ROI on USD, Bitcoin, Ethereum. So it's not 4,000x, like it's probably 4,000x or maybe 5,000x in the rate of T-share growth. But we can see, so factor from all-time low to all-time high, 3,218x. So that's just what I wanted to say to Dante. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do another 1,000x from here. Yeah, what's 4,000x or what's 5,000x? Hex was designed and is designed to do 10,000x in 2.5 years, right? So it's definitely possible. And they say history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And if you look at Gerardo, his lookintohex.com website, you can see how Hex, and same thing with Wills Only, he's got a website coming out soon too, but you can see his charts and you can see when Bitcoin first started off, it was literally flatline for its first like 500 something odd days until it had the pizza transaction. That kind of showed its value where it started. And then same thing, Ethereum had its thing, and then Hex has had its price run up, and Hex is pretty much outpacing Ethereum in its initial growth. So Ethereum did, it was 10,000x in 2.5 years. So that's kind of what it's based off of. And Hex can definitely do the same thing. We'll reach 10,000x at 56 cents. So definitely very possible. And it's what it's designed to do. I mean, when you look at the mechanics, like some people, like I mentioned, they'll look at market cap or they'll look at supply or circulating supply and stuff like this, and they'll think that they're just these, armchair mathematicians and stuff like that, like Richard likes to talk about. But really what it comes down to is, are there more buyers than sellers? Is the staking length average going up in Hex? It is. It's like 5.8 years now. I remember it used to be 4 to 5 years. So that's really awesome. Salim says, hey, need some info, please. Had $1,000 in ETH, sacrificed 800, and then bought $200 worth of Hex. And I have $30 left of ETH on my MetaMask. Do I need to remove the ETH? I mean, do you need to remove the ETH? No. Like, you can keep it if you want for like transactions and stuff like that. But you already mentioned that you bought $200 worth of Hex and you've got $800 sacrifice. So I don't know if that Hex is just staying liquid. If so, you might want to, I mean, $30 for the ETH, that's not a whole bunch per se, but you might want to keep it there just for transaction sakes, because you'll always need, just like with Pulsechain, right? The beautiful thing about Pulse is it's going to use Pulse for the network, right? For all the transactions. So you're always going to need a little bit of Pulse to do transactions. And then same thing with Ethereum, some ETH to move the Hex and to do stuff like that. So if it was me, with the amounts that you've given, I'd probably just keep it. If you don't plan on moving it anytime soon, sure, you could sacrifice it, things like that. But, that's really up to you. Because here's the thing, right? If you don't do anything with it, there's pretty much going to be like a 1-to-1 copy on, like if you had one Ethereum, you'd get one Pulse. So you'd get like a super small amount of Pulse. And then that's like, you got like 30 days before you have to move that before it goes away. But I don't really see that being like a huge amount where it makes sense to, sacrifice or things like that. Where do you see Pulsechain in 1.5 years? George, that's a really good question, right? And of course, it's just happening. How are you, BallietBran? Good, man. Hope you're doing well too. Gonna get a workout after this and doing great. It's a beautiful day here in Seattle and got no complaints, right? The sacrifice phase finally started. So really happy about that. But so where do I see Pulsechain in 1.5 years? Really good question. I'd actually be curious to see how long it took Ethereum to become top 2 market cap, because I know it's been around for a long time. But anyways, where I see Pulsechain, I mean, I see just significant growth. I mean, I just see a train that's not stopping anytime soon. People are, onboarding the train right now. And just like with the Hex price, like Richard talks about that the price of Hex, to the other person's question, the price of Hex is just starting to curve up. And once it starts that curve up, like we were pretty much in this flat line, and that was, a few thousand X. But once it starts to curve up, it usually starts to do like one of these S-curve things. And it's a really slow S-curve. But the same thing with Pulse, right? We're seeing absolute amazing growth in the chat. And where I could see it, I mean, price, I'm not even going to guess, right? I mean, I could see it doing something similar to Ethereum as well. Like why couldn't it do a 10,000x in 2.5 years? It's got a lot more game theory that Ethereum doesn't have. And the beautiful thing about let's get rid of the website. So the beautiful thing about not reinventing the wheel and being able to see someone that's been successful and then tweak things and change some of the dynamics to make it even more successful is now you don't have to guess whether it's going to work or not. You're just taking things and you're optimizing them and making them better. Yeah, guys, Corey, an investor, awesome, awesome musician. He's got, I say musician, but he's just done a handful of raps and says that he just did it in his spare time. But the songs were too good for me to believe that. Definitely go follow Corey, an investor. He's got, I think he does DTube and then YouTube as well. But great guy, met him in Vegas, and another awesome Hexican, right? What more can you ask for? FM Alexander, Brandon Balliet with the quality content. Hey, yeah, thanks. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to cover, but there is, right? So I'll definitely cover some of the tweets. I mean, it's really cool. People didn't like Richard Hart like 3 years ago, and that was just because of his demeanor and stuff like that. And now some of them really don't like him because now he's got $1 million worth of watches here and Louis V and all this stuff. And so it's cool to see the proof of work, right? If you see traders or you see some people that pretend to be successful, and then you kind of, you ask like, hey, where's the proof? Well, a lot of them can't show it to you, but the people that are successful, they definitely can. So it's awesome to see that Hexicans, they made 4,000x or 3,000x, and they made a lot of gains. So some of them have cashed out a little bit and taken a little bit of profit and, bought some luxurious things. So I'll show you guys some Twitter tabs that I got pulled up because it's just really cool, right? Hex is that hero story, and everyone loves, like Gary mentions it, like a David versus Goliath story. And so there were so many people at the beginning of Hex, and even when Richard came onto the scene, but that didn't like him, that didn't like what he was doing. And he just kept, just like his little candelabra, kept just shining in the light and being the light bringer. So shout out to him. I mean, there's another thing that I'll cover about the Alex Saunders guy that Richard mentioned in his most recent stream, but he kind of was part of Richard was kind of like the cause of almost like a Me Too movement, where like Richard came out and posted the DMs, and then BitBoy, and then this other guy. So I'll show that screenshot in just a second because there is a lot of fake gurus in this space. And in 2017, I fell victim to one of those gurus and gave him like $5,000 worth of Litecoin at the time for like a trading course and then something else. And it just goes to show you that people like Richard, people like the Hexicans, we'll try and tell you and show you our experiences, and we'll try and give you, information that we've learned from that other people would normally charge for. And you find out that even those people that are charging for those groups and stuff like that, like their information sucks, it's not even good. So let's see what's up to the rest of the chat. Hemo Spaz, I like that name. Nice to see you, man. Says, I hope he uses the sacrifice money that is in non-Hex to pump Hex. Totally, right? I mean, we can always speculate, right? What's up, Rick Schmitz? How you doing? Hope you're well. Yeah, doing great, man. Doing great. Going to be even better after the stream once I, get some blood pumping and start pumping some iron and stuff. But yeah, to Chemo's point, I mean, Richard's never alluded to this per se, right? He's never going to give expectations of profit from the work of himself or the work of others. But he has talked about that whoever or whatever that owns the keys to the sacrifice address has been taking all the other ERC20s that aren't Hex and pretty much converting it into stable coins. Like you look at the Ethereum and you see it being converted into stable coins. So that also kind of like confirms Richard's belief of the Ethereum bear market that when it's converting Ethereum into USDC, I mean, that's pretty much sell pressure unless they're doing limit orders. And Ethereum right now is at 2,166. And when Richard shows it going out of its parabola, a lot of people don't want to think technical analysis is true and whatnot. But I mean, Richard's kind of proven it right, the past 4 years in a row with his analysis of how vertical parabolas work. And like I mentioned with Hex, Hex is just starting that vertical parabola. You know, when you really zoom out, you see Bitcoin did it 6.5 million X, and then you see where Hex is at a comparison, and it's crazy. There's a website called hexgraphs.com. I've been meaning to share this person's website for a long time now, so I'll do it again today. Hope you're well. Yep. One Heximofo, Brand Hammer. Nice to see you, man. Yannick Kudaville says, I'm curious if 30% Pulse gets locked up in proof of stake, 30% in liquidity, with trading against Hex as its primary pair, Hex is heavily correlated against USDC. Pulse will benefit greatly, in my opinion. Your necklace looks really cool. Thanks, Serena. Yeah, one day it'll actually be gold. But it was like 14,000, so I was like, I ain't gonna pay that. But I do have a silver like Pulsechain coming out that I think it's a little bit smaller than this. I think it's like the original Hex one that I had, which is about half the size as this. But yeah, that'll be silver, so that's cool. You can get that at shapeways.com too. You can type in like Hex embossed, or you can just type in Hex or Pulsechain, and you can buy 3D printed. So to Yannick's point, right, Richard has this, what do you call it? I forget what he calls it, but Richard pretty much talks about the liquidity, right? So with Hex, its primary liquidity is based on USDC as opposed to Ethereum. So that way it's almost like decoupling and decorrelating, right? It's being more correlated to dollars versus Ethereum, because especially when you have Ethereum going in a bear market and going down, you don't want that liquidity to be tied with Hex, because then, its price can go down too. So yeah, definitely agree with that, right? It's going to be very interesting to see how everything starts. Richard mentioned that probably for a day it'll have that zero value, and then he mentioned like let the price pump begin type deal. So it'll be awesome to see. How do you qualify for the volume bonus? I'll go over that in just a minute here. Hex Machina, what up, bro? Yeah, Serena. Yeah, totally. I think that would look great. Says, I want a Hex bikini. Totally. Yeah, we should get you a Hex bikini, Pulse bikini. That'd be awesome. Randy Cox says, I'm getting a Hex bikini for when I go to Volcano Bay at Universal in October. LOL. That's awesome. Can't wait for that. That's going to look great. Yeah, it's so cool, right? Yeah, it's just awesome to be able to wear something that looks good, that represents, top performing asset of 2020 and 2021. And it catches the eye too, that magenta, that kind of like 80s synthwave type deal. It definitely catches the eye. So I think those will look great. Can't wait to see it. Hex Machina says, Hex certainly hasn't been flat for its first 500 days. LOL. Totally, right? Yeah, you look at Bitcoin, and I actually didn't know this until Whales Only. So shout out to him. Like I said, he'll be streaming actually at 3:35 my time. So it's about an hour from now. We're making good pace. I got definitely an hour more worth of talking to do. So yeah, we'll raid his channel once this is done in about an hour. But I didn't realize that until Whales Only had started streaming that yeah, Bitcoin was pretty much a flat, dead. It was pretty much a flat line for the first 500 something days. And yeah, Hex is doing so much more than that. So to your point, it's just better, right? Bitcoin is 10-year-old. It's actually like 11-year-old technology. Like it's very old. And I think it's even older than that. But the point is for the people that are in crypto, that are usually the Bitcoin maxis or the ETH maxis and just maximalist in anything, usually their argument, because the price doesn't usually go too well for them, and so their argument almost has like a Stockholm syndrome, is like, oh, well, I'm just in it for the technology. I remember a lot of people saying that in Litecoin. It's like, founder dumped on you, man. Like I used to be in that community, and then I realized like, update your worldview. But the point is Hex is that better technology. Pulse is that better technology. So not only do we have Hex, the original Hex, which is on Ethereum, that's going to stay the same. That's going to continue to perform well. The APY is going to continue to, give us mad gains. But now we're going to have that same clone on Pulsechain. And that's going to be even more exciting, because I was listening to the Pulsechain, it's just Hex Radio app. It should be like Pulse Radio app, but it's Hex Radio app on YouTube. And there was like 90-something people. Yeah, there's still 70 people on there. And Motley and some of the other guys were talking. But it's really cool to see the better technology gaining more adoption. I mean, Richard mentioned this in his stream yesterday, and I've talked about it too, because there's one person that I know that had admitted that they were suicidal. They were gonna, commit suicide in February, and they didn't. They were excited about the Hex community and about the game and stuff like that. And another person yesterday in Richard's stream mentioned the same thing, that they were kind of hopeless and stuff like this and didn't have any direction, relationship problems. And then that Hex had, the community and the product and everything else had helped them not make that decision. So just like what Richard has mentioned with Bitcoin, right? Sure, we've seen Bitcoin cars, we've seen Bitcoin tattoos, we've seen people write Bitcoin books, but they're not the best. But how many Bitcoiners have you heard that are like, oh, this literally saved me from killing myself, or this literally brought me out of poverty or out of homelessness? There's a couple people that are Hexicans that, yeah, the financial status when they got in wasn't the best. I mean, a couple of them were homeless. Now they're not. And it's like, man, like I said, everyone has their own economic energy that they bring into the system and that they start out with. But when you see those kinds of gains, like, people can really just all flourish. And the beautiful thing about Hex is just like with any other market, like, no one is selling all of it at once. And that's the beautiful thing about its mechanism, is since it is being locked up, since it is burning that supply for the time that it's locked up, it just allows the price to pretty much just pump up to Saturn. Okay, there's a handful of comments I haven't addressed yet. Let me scroll up a smidge. Crypto 303, what's up, BallietBran? How you doing? Never landlock your wallet. You need gas. Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. Like, especially with $30, and especially with the way that the network is right now. The last thing you want to do is want to do a transaction and then be like, oh, I need to go to Coinbase and buy $20 worth and then take the fee, just to, do this one little swap or something like that. So yeah, I would definitely keep that $30 in the wallet myself too, So thank you for confirming that too, Kool-Aid, because definitely a good idea. Trustless says, when you get one-to-one pulse for that $30 worth of Ethereum, you'll need to move the free pulse. Well, yeah, and honestly, it's going to be such a small amount that even the freemium that they do have, they can move it to another wallet. But it's going to be a very, very small amount, because the beautiful thing is Richard, like he mentions, he doesn't like to reward apathy. He's not going to reward the people as much that didn't sacrifice. So the people that did sacrifice definitely are. Crypto King, Silver Sailor, boom. What's up, Hexicans? What's up, King? What's up, producer? Crypto Alex. I sacrificed 10K USD. I'm hoping for at least a 10X. Hey, totally. And you say that you're hoping for a 10X, which is great, right? That's definitely very feasible. I mean, think about it. It's going to be starting off at 0. And the other thing is once it does do its 10X, I mean, yeah, you can always pull out the initial principal and let the rest kind of free ride, because with its time frame and with the way that Richard programs these cryptocurrencies and designs them, they can really pump up to that 10X very significantly. And so I think that just like with Hex, right? You're grateful for a 10X because you've seen it in other cryptocurrencies, and then usually it didn't do too very well. But yeah, with something like Hex, did a 10X and then 100X and then 1000X, and then people sold at each different increment. But it's always not a bad idea to I don't recommend anything, but for myself, I would never, I've taken profit here and there, small amounts, but I would never sell all of my bag. So just something to consider, because you're going to be at the ground floor of something that's going to start off at 0. It's probably going to do that 10X rather quickly. I mean, within a year at least, I would think that would happen. And then, last thing you want to do is be like the kid that's the guy that's I sold my Hex, man, or be the person that's bought Bitcoin at 10 cents and sold it at $10. So just something to think about. Yeah. I actually wanted to get into this. This is one of those Easter egg things that I was kind of talking about, because Richard just briefly covered it. And then thanks, Bree. Brand has the best streams. Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate you. Yeah, Bree, definitely check out Bree. And they do great work. They're Hex Genius on YouTube. And then I think it's either Shadowy Brilliance or Be Mindful of Death on Twitter. So definitely check them out. They do great work and huge contribution to the community. But so this person says, what do you think about the exchange application that Richard filed? I think it's awesome, right? Not only does Richard have he mentioned that the Harvard group of people that are going to be making something similar to like a grayscale version, but instead of Grayscale's version of Bitcoin, it's going to be a grayscale-esque version of Hex. He had mentioned that they're still working on it, that they're pivoting a little bit. They're going to be doing something else that is going to make it hopefully come sooner and be just a little bit better of an application. So I think that's awesome, right? I think Richard has always talked about that we should live in a world where we can trust math and not humans, right? Humans are always fallible. Just look at people that create exchanges. People like CZ with Binance that, now you're held hostage for your own money that you deposited by, doing KYC, AML, stuff like that. And I didn't mean AML. I just meant the KYC part. But, you're just taking all these selfies and then you're just, on your knees trying to get your money back. Like, that's disgusting. So Richard's talked about Hex was the first crypto. He never intended on making another crypto. But he said if the Ethereum gas fees get too high, because they were doubling, and then they ended up doing a 12x on the function to calculate the end stake. But he had mentioned that he would fork Ethereum if their fees ever got too high. And what do you know? That's what happened. And some people think like, is Pulsechain just for the Hexicans? And the answer is no. I mean, think about it. Any person that tried to do a swap or a transfer at the height of the bull market, it was like $100 worth of gas to transfer an ERC20. And when you have, say, $20 in your wallet, how does that make sense? It doesn't, right? So now you're kind of forced to wait for the network to die down. So things like Pulsechain aren't going to have that problem as quickly as Ethereum did. Hex Machina, I think Pulse is going to be massive. The amount of interest and buzz around it has been incredible. Totally, right? Just think about Ethereum and the concept of it. I mean, Richard talks about that it's so much easier to understand a concept of, hey, it's a faster, fee-burning, pretty much better version of Ethereum, right? Everyone knows Ethereum. Hex was a little bit different because it's never been implemented in the cryptocurrency world, even though it's been implemented in the frickin' traditional financial world for, at least like a century, right? No. You gotta expand your thinking, my friend. Sounds like you might be a little bit new here, and I'm not being, derogatory or anything, but yeah, Hex is designed, like I said, to surpass Bitcoin, to pretty much be like a global reserve currency. And people like to naysay and stuff and like to doubt. It's like, all right, well, if it ever happens one day, just we kind of told you so type deal. But anyways, do you think 100x is out of the picture? No. Do you think 1000x is out of the picture? No. Ethereum did 1000x. Bitcoin did 1000x. Hex did 1000x. Why can't Pulse do 1000x? So definitely, maybe this is obviously your own opinion, or your own choice. But hey, if you want to take out your profit or your principal from 10x, that's great, right? 10x, your money is effing insane. Where else can you get that? But you might want to keep a little bit to ride up to, that 100x, 1000x, the 10,000x. Like, it's all about your time frame, right? And most people, they're treating Pulse, I shouldn't say Pulse, but they'll treat Hex like it's every other cryptocurrency. Like, hey, let's trade it, let's get a quick buck here and there. But it's not. It is like the better version of Bitcoin, but at 2.0. Hey, what's up, Toby? Yeah, another great Hexican. If you haven't seen his Hexico video, he worked really hard to make a really good compilation of Hexicans and like a remix of that Beach Boys song. So the song's called Hexico, I think. Hexicans and Hexico, something like that. So definitely check it out. It's like a 6-minute video, and it's very well done. You got Super Hex that kind of like starts it off walking in the beach, and really cool, really cool. I appreciate the love and support, man. You got this. Yeah, man. The beautiful thing about this is it's the abundance mentality. It's just like with what Richard's done, that he's mentioned that I got a clip of this, but he's mentioned like, usually really, really wealthy people in the world, they didn't just steal or they didn't just, do bad things in the world to get that wealth. Like people like Richard, a billionaire, you don't just get to billionaire status by scamming people and by doing stuff like this. You get to that status by providing value and creating, useful products and services. I mean, look at Bezos with Amazon, stuff like that. So I say that to say that, yeah, with the Hexican community, I mean, it's so cool how many streamers we have. You can go to hexstreamers.com and see how many we have. We've got a lot. But it's awesome to see, right? And I think it's kind of like our duty to be able to support the new Hexicans, the old Hexicans. Let's get everyone on the same page. I mean, hey, if I've got 1,000 followers, why can't the other newer Hexicans get 1,000 followers? And so we should all be able to support them and stuff like that, because we're all going to grow together. I mean, I use the analogy a lot that, hey, you're only as strong as your weakest link. But yeah, I mean, take that analogy instead of like a link of people, but like a link in a watch, you got Richard's Rolexes and stuff like that. Well, hey, what if one of those links is a little bit loose or like happens to fall and, you're walking and whatnot and you don't even realize, but the link broke and now the watch is not there. So you're only as strong as that weakest link. And in Hex and Pulsechain and stuff like that, like we're making the community so strong from the ground up, and that only can have a successful future, in my opinion. Because you dismantle the FUD, you prove them wrong. We proved to other people that Hexicans are not robots. We've proved to people that Hex is not a Ponzi, that's not an MLM, stuff like this. And now, like Hexicans, I haven't done it, but some of the Hexicans have spent some of their gains and proven people, oh, look at this Rolex, like this ain't fake, let me show you the receipt, or look at this McLaren. So there's a handful of Twitter accounts that I got pulled up here in separate tabs that will kind of cover that corroborate what I'm talking about, because where else do you see so many people getting wealthy? Yo, Brandhammer, salute, brother. AB and Omnicast. Hey, how's it going? Morgan Maniac, what's up, Brand? Great stream. You're the coolest Hex content creator. Hey, I'll take the compliment. Appreciate you. Crypto Kool-Aid. Always add a zero onto what you need, Simon. Agreed. That's awesome. Totally agree with that. I think we will see 1,000x in Pulse within 12 months. That's what I was thinking, right? Hex did 1,000x in under a year. Why can't Pulse do the same thing? I mean, the mechanism is going to be a little bit different, where Pulse is going to gain value through its usage of the network, right? How many of the supply is being burned within each transaction and stuff like that. But the network is still being used. It's growing. People are building on it. And then Hex is just a little bit different too, because its mechanism is, locking and staking and earning an interest, which reduces the supply on the market. Did I understand right? Write extra to my sacrifice. I get this extra $30 of Ethereum, who also can. So once the snapshot happens, the Ethereum that you have, you're going to have a very small amount of Pulse. You're not even going to have one Pulse with that amount that you have, that $30 worth of Ethereum. You would have one Pulse if you had one Ethereum. But the long story short is everyone's in MetaMask, right? I mean, that's what Richard's been recommending. But you'll create a separate account, like just click the add account and then copy that address, and then take the address that you got the airdropped free Pulse and then just send it to that second account. That way, once the 30 days or whatever it is, that little freemium trial ends, that original wallet that had the free claim is not going to have it removed. Crypto Alex, what do you think about a midterm possibility of a 50x? How possible you guys think we can 50x? Man, very, 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 very possible. I mean, just look at what Hex has done recently. I've got a little tab pulled up here. 1 second here. 1 second, my friend. I mean, this is just Hex. I think you were referring to Pulse, but same thing. Hex, Pulse. It's going to do very well, and you're in very, very early. Let me show you. So what is this? Uniswap.hex.vision. So this is version 2, and this is what, I mean, Hex has been doing. I mean, if you take, your question is a 50x, right? So this is from Big Payday. I know someone that sold this damn dip, and I talk about this a lot. But so within 236 days, not even a year, this is what 11,573%. So like 111x, I think, 111.5x, something like that, in 236 days. And that's just holding with Hex for this example. That's just holding it liquid, right? That's not even staking or earning a question, things like that. And yeah, so the price of Hex is where are we at on the daily? We're at 13.3 cents. That's awesome. All right, let's stop sharing the screen. Let's get back to the comments here. Let's see. And thank you for picking up my question. You got a new subscriber. Awesome. Appreciate you. And Alex, I see your super chat now. So I've got all the comments in order. So we got 133 people watching. Thank you. I think that might be close to a record. I know on Nights of the Crypto, we'll get a lot of people watching too. I think we have like 166 at the most. So that's pretty cool. Crypto Donkey, love the Hex chain logo, brother. Where do I get one? Yeah, so I was saying earlier, shapeways.com. Let me just show you, right? So for anyone that missed the beginning, at the beginning I showed you where to get, Hex shirts like this. Go to Etsy.com, go to Amazon.com, and it's Crypto Style USA. And so I showed you guys how to get Hex merch, how to get Pulse merch, and let me show you on Shapeways real quick. All right, so this is shapeways.com, and let's see. There should be a little search section. Give me 1 minute here. You know what? Let's do. Whoops. Let's type in Shapeways, and then. So yeah, this will work just a little bit better. So bear with me for 1 second. Can't type right now. 1 second here. Okay, so yeah, this was the one. All right, give me just a second. It opened up in a new tab. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. So yeah, this is the one. Like I was saying, I'm not spending this kind of money right now. So this is just FUBU gold. But so yeah, this is the Hex logo embossed. They've got another one that's a little bit smaller. It might be by the same person, but yeah, I mean, I can drop the link in the chat if you want. Yeah, Shapeways, they're a 3D printing company, and they just print it on demand, basically. And they also have one for Pulsechain, too. So I'm not going to go through the whole process because that took a couple minutes. But you can do the same thing with Pulsechain. And I got a Pulsechain thing in the mail. Probably will be here in like 3 weeks. Hey, man, appreciate the tip. Says, okay, I see. So what do you think of the possibility of a midterm 50x with Pulse? I sacrificed 10K USD. Yeah, totally possible, man. Totally possible. I mean, no one's got that crystal ball, and no one has that absolute answer. That's why no one should ever speak in, definite terms. But just look about, to ask, to think what something can do in the future. You have to look at what other things have done that are similar in design in the past. And yeah, Ethereum did 10,000x in 2.5 years. I mean, what's a 50x for Pulse? I mean, that could happen within a year. I mean, like I was saying, with Hex, we saw over 1,000x in a year. I mean, why couldn't we see the same thing with Pulse? And all of you people, the cool thing about this is, there's a lot of Hex OGs, and there's a lot of people that got in early that are doing very well, newly minted millionaires, stuff like this. But what I'm excited for, because as you guys can see, I love the community. I'm excited for you guys and gals to be new millionaires, to have your first 1,000x, and to see to just see more people being able to use that money for good. Someone like Sai with Hex Toys was saying that, like, there's that saying, right, that money can't buy happiness, but he paid off his mother-in-law's like mortgage, and Freddie Quotes bought his mom a brand new Lincoln or something like that, bought his mom a new car. So there's just so much good that you can do in the world with, extra capital. And most people's problems are financial related. So someone like David Feeder paid off his, the 30,000. I think it was 30,000. It's either 30 or 35, but paid off $30,000 worth of student loan debt, which for anyone that knows about student loans, you can't go bankrupt out of that. That's permanent. And so anyways, he paid that off with the $750 Hex principal. Yeah, magic carpet ride, totally. Crypto Alex, let me get a sip of water. And smash the likes if you haven't already. Crypto Alex, think about it like this. Super conservative. If it does a quarter of Matic's all-time high, we will be in good shape. Totally. Yeah, appreciate you answering this, Toby, because some answers I'm not too sure on, and so I kind of just let other people. I'm like 26 minutes behind. I might just skip a whole bunch of comments. But it says, hey, Bree, the 1.75x on days 17 through 19 doesn't impact your volume bonus from days 1 through 16. Yeah, you're not going to get any of the volume bonus. It's simply 1.75x the number of points you'd get per dollar, but bear in mind that the pulse price already doubled by then. Yeah, exactly. The cost for the points had doubled by then. Let me, I'll just see if there's any questions, and otherwise I'm just going to scroll down because I've got like a little Richard moment here. Remember the projection you chatted with Marketable Thoughts on Discord Syndicate last week? Was that based roughly on Matic's performance? Yes, it was. Crypto Alex, I would not be surprised if Pulse did 1,500x in the first 18 months. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking like, probably 1,000x in the first year or something like that. Like I said, when you've got something that's starting off at zero and you're being airdropped those coins at a $0 value, yeah, it's just absolutely insane the number of X's and the amount of percent and stuff like that it can go up. Hey, dude, cool T-shirt. I wonder where you got it. Cheers. Yeah, so Etsy, I showed people earlier. You're just going to have to just scroll back. I don't want to repeat the same thing twice, but Etsy.com, and then type in just Hex, or type in Crypto Style USA, and they've got Pulsechain shirts. They've got Hex shirts. They don't have that exact hat, but they got one similar, like an 80s style snapback that's got the Hex logo. They got a lot of stuff. So this is just one of them. P-Hex is Hex on training wheels. Are you interested in any PRC20 coins outside of Hex? I mean, if I was, it would be things that like didn't have admin keys. I mean, which is kind of interesting because I know Uniswap has removed like 100 tokens from their decentralized exchange and stuff like that. But I would probably be interested in stuff that didn't have admin keys. I mean, honestly, I'm not really interested. I mean, I've not a maximalist or anything, but I've done very well with just Hex, and I think with Pulse that I'll do very well with just Pulse itself. I mean, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the fork of Tornado.cash. So we're gonna have like a Pulsenado.cash, something like that, where you're going to have the anonymity, just like you would with Monero. You're going to have a similar, if not better, anonymity set and thing like that with Pulsechain. So that's going to be awesome. Richard's mentioned copying like a block explorer. So just like you go to etherscan.io and you can write contracts and stuff like that manually, you'll be able to do the same thing with Pulse. There's going to be, I think Richard's kind of alluded to it, that there could be a fork of the Uniswap V2, so have some sort of P Uniswap or whatever. So I'm pretty much just excited for what's going to be built on top of it. I mean, it really is that network infrastructure layer that everyone can build on. And there's been so many developers that have, been developers for Bitcoin or Ethereum that have wanted to do these other things, but the network itself couldn't actually, supply that demand and couldn't actually, have the technology to do what they wanted. So things like Pulse, I think, are going to be a lot better. I mean, just look at how screwed Hexicans got at the height of the Ethereum gas fees with ending stakes. And then think about every other like smart contract and things like that use the S-load function. I'll be happy with the 50X. Totally, man. Can't wait to see you get it, you know. Ramon Carrillo. I am like 20 minutes behind, guys, so if I haven't addressed your comment, just know that I got a handful of comments to go first. I like the strategy that sacrifice wallets will sell off to purchase Hex, driving the price up, then use the Hex OA and sacrifice to take the Pulsechain lead. Interesting. I haven't been around to stream over the past half year, new job, but here's the thing. Hex is the diamond. The diamond gets cloned on training wheels. Totally. Yeah, it is that diamond, right? There's this guy like Plan C, him, Wave 3 TV, and Motley. They were talking about Hex, and the guy's usually brushed off Hex, you know, when he's asking questions like, you know, what's the supply and stuff like this, and they were going into the numbers, and like from Gunther's most recent analysis, it's actually like 95% that the OA owns in Hex, right? And so when you look at that De Beers diamond analogy, it really is true. I mean, everything really does come down to that supply and demand thing. And when you've got such a small amount of supply within all of the Hexicans, and then the main like entity OA and whatnot is just like the strongest hands that never sell, you got some dynamics that are just really, really positive for price pressure. The pump, which will allow 2 diamonds or suns on suns, as Axis said, 2 suns, has a pump, and that's Pulse. All right, let me scroll down. If I buy Hex now, when it gets converted to P-Hex, would it also have value in the Pulse chain? So here's the thing. Every PRC20 and Pulse and stuff like that, when the fork happens and when the snapshot happens, all of it's going to get airdropped at $0 value. And Richard said that most likely it'll stay that way for about a day. And then whatever's going to happen to allow the value discovery. So yeah, if you buy Hex right now, you're going to get 2 copy, or not 2, but you're going to get 2 for the price of 1 once that actual snapshot happens and once that's available to interact with the Pulsechain network. As far as the value and as far as when it reaches parity, if it reaches parity, if P-Hex surpasses the price of Hex, all of that, that's all, after the snapshot, after the fork. Okay, 1 second here. Oh, hey, what's up, Wales? Yeah, I was saying Wells has a stream in, let's see, what is it? 3:35. It's 3:03 right now. 32 minutes, 33 minutes. So yeah, we'll go to him in at that time, 3:35 my time. All right, let me scroll up a little bit. Derek Mass, and sorry if I missed a couple comments. It's just got 149 people watching, so can't get to everyone. But if I happen to miss your comment, feel free to DM me or whatever, and I'll try and help you. Derek Mast, regardless of what happens, all of us involved in the trinity of Hex, P-Hex, and Pulse are going to be golden. Yeah, it was dollar cost or Motley that was like, the holy trinity of, of it. Yeah, so you got like Hex, P-Hex, and then Pulse. And so you got just like the holy triangle, the holy trinity. And yeah, honestly, that's where all my capital is going to be. All my financial mass is going to be. I mean, eventually I would like to take more substantial profits and do similar to what Gary's doing, funding Jim, and do, some real estate and kind of work on other forms of cash flow that might be more traditional and stuff like that. But for now, it's like, yeah, let's stay in here and see how this goes. But yeah, I do consider that the Holy Trinity as well. So I really like that analogy, right? People learn through analogies, and that's a great one. Gabriel Lane, welcome. Nice to see you. Hex is paying 5.8 Hex per T-share. Will this rate increase over time? If it increases and Hex price increases, it'll be the perfect storm. So here's the thing. It's all based on the amount of T-shares. It's all based on the percentage of people that are staked. So right now, the percentage of people that are staked is, let's see, it's like 10 or 11%, something like that. 1 second here. So yeah, I don't know the number right off bat. It's like 10. Okay, it's 9.558%. So that number is completely dynamic, right? We saw on the big payday, the OA and its sub addresses all staked for that one day, and then it unstaked. But the point is that if 100% of people stake, then you're going to get like a 3.69% APY. But as far as can that increase over time? I mean, yeah, it definitely can, right? You're going to have the price of Hex go up so damn high, and sometimes people they like to go all in one, right? They might have one stake. Say one person has one stake of a million Hex, right? They have it for 15 years, 5,555 days. Well, say the price of Hex hits $1, or say it hits $100. Let's just be more realistic. Yeah, let's just say it hits $1,000 at 7.5 years, and they've got a million Hex that's going to go, for another 7.5 years from when they staked. Well, there's going to be a lot of people that emergency unstake and that see the gains and the wealth that they could have, and they're going to sacrifice those penalties, right? Half those penalties go to everyone that's staking, and then the other half goes to the origin address. So, yeah, I mean, you could definitely see the price per T-share go up. I mean, I would really kind of delegate and look at Whales Only stream after this. We'll be rating him at 3:35 my time, but yeah, I mean, someone like himself has the payout per T-share and kind of like this, really good graphs and stuff like that, and all of it just seems to be pointing up and to the right, which is absolutely cool. Thank you. Boom. Got Pulsechain in the mail. Nice. Has been over 7 and even 9 Hex per T-shirt lately. Yeah, it's awesome. I like this name, Rectangle. Hey, how you doing, man? Anthony Saavedra. Great stream. Thanks for providing such great value. I appreciate it. I like to answer the questions, So anyways, I sold 7,000 ADA for Hex. Awesome. Congrats on that. It's a lot of ADA. I sacrificed 50% of Hex, which was 25,000 of my 50K. Are most sacrificing half their Hex or just a quarter? I'll tell you what, I've got 66% sacrificed, and the other third I am not touching. Like, that is staying liquid, and that's going to get copied over to the Pulsechain. So everyone's got their own numbers that they would like, but at a guarantee, whatever you have staked is going to get copied over. Whatever you have liquid is going to get copied over. And then as far as Pulse and stuff like that goes, yeah, I mean, based on the points you have, you're going to be airdropped at a $0 value, the Pulse. So that's kind of what I'm doing, about a 2/3 sacrifice, 1/3 liquid. And then that 1/3 liquid is going to get copied over. So you're going to have like 2/3 and 2/3 pretty much. Hexicans are in golden god mode for Pulse. Yeah, like I said at the beginning to the person that was asking about where can you get the shirts, you can go to the Amazon links below, which has the same vendor, Crypto Style USA, or you can go to Etsy. But I got a new one that's not in the mail yet. I'm like paying for extra shipping, trying to get it here quicker. But it says Pulsechain, and it's got like a Poseidon with, the little thing. So thought that was pretty cool. Gosh, I wish I could be in the top 100 sacrificers. You know what? I can't believe I've been streaming for 1 hour and 8 minutes and haven't even looked at pulselead.xyz. What am I doing here? Let's go to pulselead.xyz. 1 second. Let me close some tabs and make it a little bit more pretty. Okay, cool. All right, so pulselead.xyz, y'all can see the screen. So yeah, total sacrifice so far. This is a community ran website, and so not everything is on here, right? Not Bitcoin and Litecoin and stuff like that. But let me tell you what is. So this leaderboard is going to calculate the total of Aave, Chainlink, DAI, Ethereum, Hex, MakerDAO, Ren Bitcoin, USDC, Tether, Uniswap, wrapped Bitcoin, and wrapped Ethereum. So like I said, your number that you have is actually going to be probably a little bit lower on the rank, because there's going to be, what is it? Bitcoin, Litecoin, Doge, and then I think Monero, stuff like that. So everyone's at sacrificing. They're all going to kind of qualify within the leaderboard and stuff like that. But anyways, within that top 100, I mean, yeah, that would be cool to be in that top 100. So yeah, I did post this is the address that I sacrificed from. One of the addresses, obviously not the main. But so this address, I put in like $2,100. We can actually see when I put that in. So yeah, July 18th, 14,000 hex, $2,100. But when you go back, you can see what rank it's at. And, sometimes you got to refresh the screen because more people have sacrificed. And, every dollar that gets added and whatnot, maybe, might drop you down a little rank. But so right now, this wallet address is at 13,607. I mean, the beautiful thing is yeah, whether you're sacrificing 10, 50, 100, 100,000, 200,000, $500,000, $1 million, like I mentioned, everyone has their own economic mass that they start off with. But the other part is also like, how long is that person that say started off with maybe a little bit lower economic mass, how long are they going to be in it for? Because to the other guy's point, some people sold all their hex at a 10x. They treated it like every other cryptocurrency. Well, then it went up 100x, and then 200, and then 500, and then 1,000, and then 3,000. So, hey, Alfred, nice to see you, man. Says, welcome to the channel. Says, be right back, going to stake more hex. Hey, that's awesome. I'm not going to tell you the main. Nice try, nice try. Yeah, definitely not going to tell you the main, but Ridoku says, I joined Hex about 3 to 4 weeks ago with 10K to invest. Guessing 10,000. That's going to be 1 mil by the end of 2022. Hey, I could definitely see that, right? I know, I never like to speak about myself, but I know people in the Hex community, just with the gains, right, that say they had 1,000, and after 3,000x, or even after the first 1,000x, 1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million, so you could have had $1,000 principal turn into like 3,300,000, something like that. The real question is whether PHEX outperforms Pulse. Going to be really interesting to see. Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. And shout out to the 166 people watching. Appreciate all you. Smash the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. But it is going to be interesting to see, right? And that's why I like to mention, like, for people that are gamblers, people that are traders, or just people that don't know, like anytime you've got odds and stuff like that, we mentioned like the Holy Trinity, right? You've got Pulse, Hex, and PHEX, right? Pulsechain on, Hex on the Pulsechain. I'm putting, my bets within those three, as opposed to like all in on Pulse or all in on Hex or all in on PHEX. But you're definitely right. It is going to be very interesting to see. I mean, we've seen what Richard Hart's game theory can do. And now we're going to see what his game theory of a fork of Ethereum can do with, better parameters. So it's really exciting. It's really exciting. It is great to see interested in the longer term trend to not complaining though. Well, so yeah, to the other point about that, some people, their stakes are lower than the average. And so when you understake, you give up your T-shares and then in return, you mint your own Hex. So it's going to be harder and harder and harder to get those T-shares. And so the real value in Hex is that T-share, right? Because that's the, yield generating asset. But, yeah, you're just going to have T-shares get more expensive. I mean, like I mentioned, you're going to have people that, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 1 year from now, and some of their stakes that were longer or that want to realize profit because maybe they did have an emergency and stuff like that. And yeah, we had this one guy that created a copycat of Hex. And by the way, the copycat did horrible. Like you look at Hex's price chart over time, it's like this. And this copycat had a little bit of pump, which is usually normal. A little bit of pump and then dive down, And so Richard's talked about that not only can you not legally copy Hex, like you'd be sued and stuff like this, there's been people that have tried to copy similar mechanics, but just haven't done very well. So yeah, you're definitely going to have people that end their stakes early. And what I meant to say is that person that made the copy, they had like 150 million hex stake. And you can type in like on Twitter, you can type in like Peter, hex, end stake, something like that. And anyways, the guy had 150 million hex stake, ended it. And I think it's about 50 million that got distributed that day. And the payout per T-share that day was like 11 or something like that. So really cool to see. I'm way down in the 4,000 range. Anyone here kind of high up? Hey, dude, that's a solid number, man. That's a really solid number. My cousin is like 50,000. Let's see. My cousin is like $50,000 worth of hex sacrificed, I think. Yeah, that's amazing, right? I mean, like I said, you know, some of the people that just started off in hex only had 1,000, and guess what? Now, if they would have held it until this most recent all-time high, would be about 3.3 million. So, you know, if history repeats itself, and you know, to Alfred's cousin, if that 50,000 does another, you know, if we see in Pulse what we saw in hex, which why wouldn't we? If we see another 3,300x, well, guess what? That 50,000 is now going to be, that 50,000 principal is going to be worth significantly more. So feels like hex day one. You know, I actually mentioned that to Richard, and he's like, yeah, but on day one, everyone got a bad, bad price because they FOMO'd in. I agree. It is like, yeah, it is. It feels like hex all over again, man. It really does. And, you know, I love seeing people coming in, asking questions. I mean, got 176 people watching. I don't think I've ever had that many people watching, so that's really cool. And, yeah, I mean, we're just growing one day at a time, and the people are starting to realize that just like I did in 2017 when I got wrecked following people, promoting trading courses and stuff like that, I was still following Richard and I listened to him, but didn't take his advice when he called the 20,000 top. And anyways, now you've got people that have been wrecked by BitBoy or wrecked by Alex Saunders, stuff like this. And then they realize, oh, you know, this Richard Hart guy did go on the BitBoy show recently, and he did go on the Rand Nooner show recently. And, you know, he seems to be, quite common sense and quite logical, you know, compared to what other people in the space have been telling me. So we're definitely getting a lot of people that can see, they're starting to see through the BS a little bit. BG David Crypto Knight, good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? Derek Mast, I'm in the same boat as you. Sacked about that and got like 3,000 left to sack. Probably going to wait until the last 3 days for that. Totally. What's up, Wales? What's up, Wales? Derek Mast, not going to lie, I have about 35,000 to sack. I thought Hex would pump hard and it would pay off to wait. Thinking I was wrong. Should have gone all in at 17 cents. Live and learn. Yeah, you know, like I mentioned, like hindsight bias is a real thing. And it's so easy to be like, oh, I should have gotten Hex earlier, or, oh, I should have sacrificed it at this price. And no one knows. And the other thing to kind of support your argument is no one knows what's going to happen within the next, 10 days, something like that, you know, towards the very end. No one knows what's going to happen. Who knows? You may very well be right, where it could just pump up to 25 cents, you know, because some whale wants to get their sacrifice in. We really don't know. But yeah, for me personally, I've always realized, like, okay, I've done all-in-one moves before in the past, and they either really worked well or they really screwed me over. So I like to hedge the bet a little bit, you know, maybe average in, something like that. Yeah, totally, Alfred. If you sack even $1,000 in Hex, just sit back and enjoy the ride. You'll be a millionaire before you know it. Totally. Epic. Is 5,000 a good sacrifice amount? Planning to do 5,000 in Pulse and 5,000 in P-Hex, just because I know P-Hex is going to rock it. Yeah, I mean, it's all relative to you, right? I can't be like, how much money are you making? You know, what liabilities and obligations do you have? You know, do you have a family? Do you have mortgage? Do you have debt? Stuff like this. So yeah, it's all kind of relative. But yeah, it's totally a good amount. 00 Hexican, hey, Bran, ballpark, how many T-shares do do you think lost of the Hex streamers have? Hundreds, thousands? Yeah, obviously not going to name any names or something like that, but T-shares were 60 cents at one point, that was really cheap. So yeah, I mean, I know people that have, 1,000, 2,000. I mean, I think the highest one is like 12,000, something like that. So it's all relative, right? Because, it's great if you have 2,300 T-shares, but, if your average is 5 or 6 years, well, when that average ends, the T-shares are going to be a lot higher. And you're not going to be able to take that principal and interest and get those T-shares back again. So it's all relative. I mean, look at Whales Only, right? He's a perfect example. So this guy leads by example, has an average, I'm only saying this because he said it, but has an average like stake length of like 14.5 or 14 point something years. So this guy, didn't get in on day one, didn't get in super early, but got in early enough to realize, hey, I can outpace a lot of these people that have more T-shares and stuff like that by playing the longer game. And I think that's really what is so cool about Hex is like, hey, you don't have to have all this, economic mass and capital, but if you can, delay gratification, if you can, have it longer out, have those T-shares for a little bit longer, then you're eventually going to outweigh those people that had 3,000, multiple times more than you, but that ended theirs earlier. So, and that's the beautiful thing about it, right? It's a reflexive system. Not everyone is selling at the same time. I mean, everyone's staking at their own different times. I mean, the average is like 5.8 something years, and to have that, you need a lot of 15-year stakes. And of course, there's going to be people that have lower than the average. 193 people watching. Damn. Shout out to that. Let me just make sure the cool. Yep, YouTube chat is looking good. Okay, let's try this again. So if some Hexicans launch a project on Pulse and are the first to launch exclusively on Pulse, could do great. Yeah, I know one guy that's got that. It's like, I don't know much about it, but it's like, I think his name's like Mark369 and he's launching like Kira, Kira, but I don't know much about it. So who wants to launch an Oracle with me? Yeah, I mean, that is the beautiful thing. Okay, yeah. Thanks for correcting. I sometimes don't like to like completely say something if I'm not too sure, but yeah, that is correct. So Looted, he's literally been saying Pulse swap since before the sacrifice phase started. Good point. Oh snap. We got the king himself. I was actually going to share a little video of Mr. Overwatch here. So let's scroll down and get to it real quick here. Cheers to Rackham, Rochelle, great guy in the community. And like I said, right, the whales and Hex and the people that don't need the money right now, a lot of them have longer time horizons and don't need to realize stuff super early. So shout out to Rackham, Rochelle. I actually got a little clip that I was going to share. So check out his YouTube channel if you haven't. And let me actually play a clip from his YouTube channel right here. All right, cool. So yeah, this is his channel. 1.42,000 subscribers. Go give him a sub. Give him a like on the video. So he's one of the first Hexicans, and I think the main Hexican that bought the Lambo, completely maxed out SVJ. Anyways, let's play it real quick. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was Overwatch. Check him out. Like I said, his you can just click on his name and see his YouTube channel right there. So yeah, shout out to him for that. Got him as a mod if he ever wants to do that. So yeah, this actually kind of leads to, I guess, the last point since I've got about 10 minutes. But yeah, love the color. Totally, man. You know what's funny is ever since like, I don't even know, fifth grade, sixth grade, something like that, I always had a lime green Lambo similar to that. Wasn't that nice, but anyways, like a poster on the wall, and I always thought the color of that lime green is just fantastic. But so yeah, let me share something, right? Because he's not the only Hexican that, you know, has bought nice things with some gains and stuff like that. One second here. Okay, I think. One second here. Sorry about this, guys. I've got a handful of you know, things here that I wanted to share. I guess we can just play Cookie Boys, right? He's got, you know, another Hexican done very well and whatnot, but he's got this isn't for sale, but, you know, all diamond out, a little hex necklace he's got here. So that's pretty cool. And there's maybe one more. I had another Hexican here that had a new, I think like McLaren or something like that he had just bought. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. Okay. Yeah, not finding it right now, but yeah, there's a lot of Hexicans, right, that, you know, 3000x and stuff like this, and it's just at the beginning. You know, imagine what's going to happen when we do have that first millionx, and when we see what Bitcoin's done already, which is the 6.5 million. So that's really cool. Chartreuse. You need to squat even as a guy. Yeah, man, I'll be doing some squats after this. You know, they got a little squat rack downstairs and doing some cardio too. So definitely agree with that. I mean, this is really random, but yeah, the legs are the strongest muscle. So yeah, you definitely want to be able to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Not even going to cover those. Let's see. Yeah. Incredible toy. Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, right? Sick Lambo. Bree says, I need a receipt to prove it's real. It's so funny, right? There's one person on Richard's most recent video stream, and they're like, I'm some sort of armchair Rolex expert, and, you know, I know a fake Rolex when I see one, and alluding to Richard having like a fake Rolex. It's like, dude, you know, you must have just got here, because Richard's been not only retired for such a long time, but has been very, very wealthy for such a long time. So it's just funny to see, and that's really what it is people, you know, talking out of their ass, like people claiming stuff and then not having, you know, claiming stuff without any evidence. Like, it's one thing if you have evidence, but it's one thing when you don't have any evidence to corroborate those statements. Then it just makes the person look like an absolute idiot. And speaking of absolute idiot, I do have a little tab here. So the Alex Saunders guy, right? I had mentioned that Richard had kind of had a like what was it, like he started like a Me Too moment for, you know, people that had gotten messages from this Alex Saunders guy. So let's just share what some of the people in the crypto space do. I think it's this one. Okay, cool. Yep. So yeah, Nam Live More, Nam Hex, another great Hexican. So he says, Alex Saunders fast becoming a meme poster boy for scammer. And shout out to Richard for doing that, right? I know there, let me remove Bree's comment for just a second here, just so you guys can see the screen. So yeah, I know Richard, he had mentioned like, hey, I've never done this before. I've never posted direct messages and stuff like that. But this guy is just, you know, he's proven himself that he needs to have the light shine on him, that, you know, Richard Candelabra. So anyways, Richard says, I've never shared a conversation publicly before, but I feel I have to here. Alex Saunders AU. So that's his username. Says, Alex begged me for a 50 Bitcoin loan, then tried to sell me a pre-allocation in a token. Then tried to sell me on just giving him the money to talk on Alex's channel, because Alex has such an influential channel. Not anymore. I feel this may represent most paid groups. Totally. And then the next one down says, it's Ben Armstrong, aka BitBoy. So BitBoy says, a lot of stuff is coming out and it's clear a lot of people have been scammed. I've been holding this back, but to be honest, I now think it's necessary for people to know the truth. Alex asked me for a 5 Bitcoin loan back in early March. I gave it to him as a friend. Big mistake. Yeah, it's funny that people will try and be your friend. And I know people like this, but they'll try and be your friend and, pony up and stuff like this to you. And then once they get what they want, they'll just stab you in the back or just never talk to you again. So we got another person as well. I've never actually seen this person, but Kyle Chassis, Master Disruptor, says, Alex Mann stole 28 Bitcoin from me in 2018. Sick of these guys. Sorry to hear that, BitBoy Crypto. And it just shows Alex exposed. So let's see. Yeah, this comment made no sense. Satoshi being another scammer. Like, what? What are you talking about, dude? So yeah, this is Richard's little thing here. People are asking, why is this guy asking for a loan? Stuff like that. So that kind of shows you, and I'm not going to share the rest of it. That's pretty much it. But goes to show you that, people like Hexicans, people like myself, I haven't been streaming as long as RG3 and Hexologist. I mean, shout out to him, right? Those two guys, I've been under a pseudonym the whole time, which is why I've got the Brian Jones, but been under a pseudonym, alias the whole time. And people like RG3, people like the Hexicans in the community are what inspired me to realize, hey, maybe I'll jump on their stream and show my face and stuff like that. So it's cool that there's always a track record with the internet, right? What you think might be private is never private. Everything gets saved. And so to have the light be shined upon the people that are scamming others is very important. Another guy that I followed in 2017 that scammed was JSnip4, and he had this like TraderBots guy and stuff like this. But anyways, I had given them like $5,000 total, and had seen some gains in Litecoin, maybe a 10 or 15x in gains, and was like, oh, I'm going to become some master trader because this guy knows everything. In reality, it was a bull market, and Richard makes the quote that like everyone's a genius in a bull market, and then Kareem talks about like when the tide goes in and out, like when it goes out, you see who was swimming naked pretty much. So that's pretty much what happens with the people that get called out. And usually those people, it's a psychology thing, it's a projection thing, but usually those people are the loudest, right? It's a psychology term to do the thing that you're accusing the other person. And then the second that you get called out, like immediately deflect and, realize that you're actually the one that was doing it. So I got a couple more comments because Wales is going live, and the second that he goes live, so I might still be listening, but I am ready for you to go live in 2 minutes. I'll end it. Yeah, this is another lady that's been in the Hex community for such a long time. Mama Rock, you look too young to be smart there, Balliet. Hope you're doing well, Hexican. Hey, appreciate you. Yeah, I'm 24, but got 3 older brothers. Always had learned from them. Had good parents, and then had always. My parents did real estate, and I was always interested in it's cool that they're working for themselves and they're not like punching in a clock working for someone else. So I always thought that was cool, and then had always been interested in where do I find a mentor, or how do I find people that are doing the stuff that I want to. And thankfully, when I got into crypto, didn't even know that it was going to lead to that. But things like the Hexican community have brought me to people like Toby. We saw Rackham Rochelle. Go check him out. Successful people like Overwatch, Richard Hart, just too many successful people to count, but it's awesome, right? And it's just the beginning. I mean, and the beautiful thing is like, sure, there's been a lot of like bad rap in this space and stuff from people like Alex or JSnip and stuff like that have scammed people in the past, but we can mend those those wounds and whatnot. And like I said, if you look at this channel, I've been streaming for over a year and have pretty much only ever talked about Hex because that's the thing I know. I'm not going to recommend or talk about something that could, possibly get someone wrecked. So people always have a track record. And that's why Richard has always had a very successful track record, because he's done business for, many, many decades, and never once had someone that officially called him out. So yeah, Wells, ready for you to start it whenever, man. Just start it up, and I'll give you the raid of the 170 people. But I'll turn on the phone on vibrate and just wait for that to ring. Thanks, BallietBran. Awesome stream. Bree says, I pronounce Rackham. I pronounce Rackham like Rockham, not Rockham. Well, it's Rack. It's Rackham. But yeah. Totally. That is the thing, is like some of these names, it's like, man, am I butchering this or just pronouncing it wrong? Big Weed. Let's see. Wait for Wills. I'm just not seeing Bitcoin hitting 10,000 because we have inflation levels that we haven't seen before. Hey, that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. Same people said the same thing in 2017. Oh, there's going to be some sort of Bitcoin ETF, and there's going to be this that happens. Lo and behold, never happened. Still did an 85% drop from the top. So hey, that's your bet, and feel free to hedge your bet in case you're wrong. Not saying that one person's right or the other, but the thing that I've always learned is, like, if I thought I was certain on something, never hurt to play the opposite game there too. Blue Bum, check him out. Blue Bum's great. DLive legend. Yeah, I was like the only one that never did get banned from DLive, so that was kind of funny. So still stream on there, even though no one really goes on it anymore. So yeah, we'll wait for Wales to kick it off, but go over a handful of comments. Let's see. Mama Rock in the house. Oh yeah, he was talking about Mama Rock. Thanks for the stream, BallietBran. Yeah, totally. Alex gone missing from his YouTube channel. LOL. Like I said, just like with a cockroach or a thief or something like that, you call them out on what they're doing, and that's why Richard posted that DM, because he's like, dude, this guy just needs to not be scamming people anymore. So lo and behold, the guy got called out and tried to play defensive, saying that he was going to sue Richard and stuff like this. And long story short is now he's backpedaling and retreating, and probably still trying to scam people out of what little money they have left. Great stream as always. Thank you, Toby. That's how they get away with it, gaslighting. Exactly. The more people realize that stuff, the more you can kind of spot the fakes, and then the people, or like the furus, like Wales mentioned, and then the people that are, not fake and that actually want the best for you. Grayscale Bitcoin holds the price down. Good point. Yeah, Crypto Donkey, dude, great job on that. My Alex exposed graphics went viral. Totally, man. Let's scroll up a little bit. Yeah, shine the candelabra on all scammers. Yeah, it pretty much is like that light bringer. And Richard Hart has always been that, Sure, people didn't like his ego or his persona, but that's aside from it, right? Like if you actually listen to what the person says, like I tell those people, like, man, if you just turn off the video and just listen to the audio, the guy really knows what he's talking about, and makes a lot of fair points. So Sandwich says, I think it's because they don't have the power as Richard Hart has. He doesn't give an F what people think. So he kind of has nothing to lose for exposing him compared to others who are trying to make a name. Yeah, totally. I mean, Richard Hart has had FU money for a long time now. And that's the thing that I've always loved about him is, in 2017, he called out Craig Wright for being fake Satoshi. And it's so true, right? For Craig Wright's point, oh, you claim to be Satoshi and you claim this and that. Well, why can't you just sign a transaction with those keys? So Richard Hart did call him out, and he does have that FU money. And that's the beautiful thing is when you see what Richard Hart has done in this space, just imagine that once Hex becomes top one crypto and stuff like that, it's not just stopping at crypto. Like crypto is a very, very, very small market cap and very small market as a whole. It's designed to take over the, traditional CD space. And, like I mentioned, if you're going to become a global reserve currency, you can't be a pushover type deal. So someone like Richard has definitely got the balls to do that kind of stuff. Don't want to answer this. Referring to many as fake Satoshi. Oh yeah, so they're talking about that. Maybe it's because they don't want to reveal how stupid they were to fall for Alex's scam. Yeah, and that's the thing about like the Me Too thing is like Richard was the first one to do it, and then once that first person kind of like outed it or said what was going on with what that person's doing, now it's like okay, the second person doesn't have to feel so much like pressure of being the one that breaks the ice there. So that's definitely true. Prefer a camper than a Lambo. Well, yeah, and that's the beautiful thing too is just check out his channel. He's got a lot of cool stuff. He's got a badass Mustang Cobra, I think, like a 65, something like that. Really cool, like a 6-speed manual transmission. So that's pretty cool. Why were people afraid or intimidated, otherwise timid to come out with this information before Richard Hart tweeted the conversations? Bunch of cowards in the space. Or just plain spineless. Yeah, you're totally right. You got people like BitBoy that are still promoting CoinMarketCap, and it's like, and then he was trying to use that argument of like, oh, well, I don't talk about Hex because the thing that I do talk about, the thing that I am sponsored by, CoinMarketCap, they have Hex at 201, and so that's why I'm not going to talk about Hex. It's like, dude, no, what you're doing is wrong. You're being sponsored by them, but the data that you're representing as like the market cap data is actually false. So who's the wrong one here? I definitely agree with Bree on this. Like a lot of people, not only in crypto, but just in general, they will put on a facade and try and act tougher than they are. And then you try and step up toe to toe and fight them or do whatever. And you realize, oh, like, one hit knockout type deal. T-Share Master. I love this name, by the way. See, let's just make sure Wales isn't live yet. Okay. T-Share Master, to get perspective, take your sacrifice rank and divide it by the total sacrifice addresses, then times that by 100 to find out your percentage in the pulse pecking order. I like that, right? Pulse pecking order. Yeah, Ridoku. So Richard did actually mention, he did kind of redact it a little bit. He did say it ended up being like 20 Bitcoin in another message, but either way, 20 Bitcoin or 50 Bitcoin, that's a lot of Bitcoin to be asking for. And so, especially if you're not going to pay it back, so it's nice that people like Richard, Richard's talked about it, that he kind of grew up in construction and stuff like that. And so he had seen a lot of, alcoholics or drug addicts or gamblers and whatnot that'll, make up a fake story and then try and get, you to feel sympathetic for them. And then you end up giving them the money. And then guess who's the sucker now? It's you, because you kind of fell for their BS story. Oh, okay. So I guess Wales has changed it to 4:00. So we got another 16 and a half minutes. That's kind of nice. I don't have to check the phone the whole time. So yeah, we'll go for another 16 and a half minutes. All right, let's see. Furu, exactly. Yeah, shout out again to Rackham Rochelle. You guys should also be following him, guys and gals, on Twitter. Let me just let's just take a look at his Twitter. Like, let's do. So go follow Overwatch Rackham Rochelle if you haven't already. Let's take a look real quick, and I'll just do share audio too. Okay, cool. There's the tab. All right, cool. So yeah, international venture capital, business incubation, crypto consultant to celebrities. That's cool. I didn't know that about him then, but Overwatch.partners, from homeless to a billionaire. Yeah, Overwatch is great because I've heard his story, not a full story, but I've heard him talk about that a couple of times, from homeless to a billionaire. And like I said, how many Hexicans and Pulsechans or Pulsechains or whatever, how many people in Hex right now, in Pulse right now and stuff are going to have similar stories? Because I already know, like I mentioned, a couple people that were homeless that now aren't homeless and, now have their feet above, they're not underwater, they're above water. So he says, Hex community takes care of the Hex community. I'll retweet that on the other accounts in just a second. But yeah, shout out to him. Absolutely awesome. So it's cool. He says, this is cool too. I like this tweet. So he says, fellow Hexicans, I need some help here. We can't have Richard Hart doing all the work. That's not cool. I need help finding more YouTubers to drop $500 super chats on. Give me some Hex and Pulse streamers, Pulsechain, Pulsechain.com, Hex.com. So yeah, shout out to Hex Hiker, another great Hexican. He, he's got his channel here, Hex Hiker, but he does a whole bunch of channels. Yeah, Crypto Coffee is great. I haven't seen him do a stream in a while. I know. Hopefully he'll be able to make it this Thursday. But Big Pep, So yeah, got all the names here. Dollar Cost Crypt. So, anyways, Sir Hexalot, he's gonna need 1,000 subscribers before he can get to the super chats. But check out Sir Hexalot. I might be streaming with him tomorrow, maybe or maybe not. I still need to message him and see if my schedule will work, but I might try and jump on stream with him. New Hexican, so let's go support him. So yeah, we got Jenkins Crypto. This guy is great. And so yeah, I mean, you can see. Oh yeah, this is another good one, hexstreamers.com. But you can see how generous the Hexican community is. It's not stinginess; it's out of abundance. And so for people like him to do donations, for the other people that are supporting, and all the ways that they do, it's really cool to see. What's up, Identity Block? I know you're in the audio chat. I was listening to you guys before the stream. Yeah, you guys do great work. And yeah, shout out to Identity Block. If you speak Spanish, he's got a primarily Spanish YouTube channel. So that's awesome for the Spanish speakers out there. And then he also does a lot of work and contribution to the Pulsechain Telegram. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, you definitely want to follow the billionaires. Benny Bills, how you doing, man? Says, I wasn't even following Rackhammer Shell. Now I am. Totally. Gavin Milner says, it's just about smoothing life, not millions. Whatever you can manage on without being a slave to work is what you need. Totally, man. Exactly. Like, yeah, not everyone needs these, lavish, luxurious lifestyles and whatnot. But yeah, even like I mentioned earlier, like with the gains that we've had in Hex just now, which is the beginning, it's going to do many millions more, but it's only done 3,300. It's, definitely life-changing for a lot of people. He just made a Twitter recently. Yeah, I saw that. Okay. So yeah, let's go back to his channel here. I know he's had a couple of different things here. So yeah, I guess he's got one of these too. Yeah, this is another guy to add too. Dustin Hawks. If you're not following him, this guy's an absolute OG too, and really knows what the hell he's doing. So follow him. Yeah, this was his Mustang that I was telling you about.
I did while I was test driving it.
Yeah, so really cool. He's just one of the many Hexicans, right, that has had shown off a little bit. Like Richard's got the watches, and he actually had some really cool watches too. But yeah, a lot of Hexicans have been kind of spending some of their, and I shouldn't even say that because then you're alluding to like that they were selling. But just Hexicans are kind of showing that hey, we're not all robots. Like this stuff really is working. I was gonna see if I could have found anything. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I can't see it right off bat. I like this one. I was almost going to make this the thumbnail, but it says, from the creator of Hex comes Pulse Magic Carpet Ride 2. And then it says, in wallets in about 4 weeks. I like it. Oh, yeah, that's Bree. It says, LOL, have fun with that. I'm too busy making 5,000x gains in Hex over the last 20 months to notice. By the way, Pulsechain is a greener Ethereum you may appreciate. I'll remind you of this tweet in a couple of years after it does the 10,000x. Oh, yeah, talking to Elon. Yeah, this is quite disgusting. Someone like Elon just pumping something like this that's just absolutely a joke. Like, dude, you've already done so much damage. Let's not keep doing this. So, yeah, this is another guy I wanted to show off. So Brent Morrissey says, Hex made this possible. Love my new McLaren, but I love my Hex stakes even more. Hashtag HexFlex. I'm actually going to see if there's any other cool posts from that. So, yeah, this is his McLaren. And I think he's also got let's click on his channel. Yeah. This proves to you that he's not a bot. So So yeah, how many people like him? We've seen, we've seen Jack and her husband, blanking on his name right now. But anyways, we've seen them buy the camper. We've seen this guy, Abundance Man. Haven't even seen this guy ever on like video or streams and stuff like that. But he does a photo testimonial, which is awesome. So check this out. Hex Testimonial. I was able to give 3 well-deserving sons their own fully loaded Tesla 3. And then he also did say something too that like, man, if Hex keeps pumping the way that we've seen it, then I'll buy them, their own Cybertruck each. So I thought that was really cool. We'll look at a couple more of those in just a minute. Yeah, Jay Mills. Thank you, Sammy. Hey, good to see you, Sammy. Yeah, thank you, Jay Mills. He's definitely worth a follow. They actually had this little like Hexican thing and Hexican flag. It was pretty cool. I'm rich, but I cycle more than I drive. Hey, that's awesome. I got a little cycle bike downstairs at the gym. I'm gonna be getting on a lot more frequently. So yeah, dude, cycling's awesome, man. I initially lost a lot of weight doing cycling, so you can definitely get your ass kicked cycling. But I like to do it indoors. That way I'm not like worrying about getting killed. I respect Elon for most of his other work, but F his input on crypto. Totally. Nice ride. I want one. Hell yeah. All right, gonna read the full comment. All right. Okay. Fuck that low ambition shit. I won't be satisfied until I'm considered ultra high net worth 30 million. Yeah, 30 million is pretty good. And then go for 100 million. All right, so that's the only swear we'll do there. Okay, cool. So another cool. We got like 8 more minutes until Wales goes. So we're just gonna kill some time for just a few more minutes. There's another tab that I did have. One second here, guys. Give me a second. Yeah, so I mean, this is another Hexican. It's not what I initially wanted to pull up, but it's pretty cool. So Alf Carabal, let's give him a follow. It says, thanks, Hex. I could sell my Chevy, buy another car, be able to buy more Hex. I could buy a Ferrari, but I would have to sell my Hex. So I don't depreciate the assets. So yeah, pretty sure he got the Chevy Malibu, and I'm guessing that was his car before. So, oh yeah, and then this guy Hextech, I'm trying to get this guy on my channel for a more in-depth interview because Hextech he did a glad I get to bring this up. So he did a video with Nerd Girl, I think Saturday. And I didn't realize it was him going on because she had another person on after him. But the point is Hextech, another great Hexican. He's got this like loose change program thing that he was doing where he worked at like a car detail shop and like, anytime people had like a penny, a nickel and stuff like that, he'd be like, hey, don't throw it away, give it to me. And long story short, he did really well with some of that. So I want to get him on and hear his story a little bit more full. I did tell him I would make a clip of that, so you guys can watch that a little bit later too, or just go to Discord Syndicate and watch the video with Nerd Girl. So he says, Hex bought this for Luis. She always wanted to see it. Sorry, no Lambos or watches, priceless. Awesome. So that's Luis who he's talking about, and then there you go. How cool is that? I mean, the beautiful thing about money and gains and stuff like that is, you can get luxurious stuff and things like that, but you can also, like I mentioned, have experiences and things like that too, which is even cooler. Like Tasai Hex Toys that mentioned that he paid off his, I think it was his mother-in-law, but to mention that he paid off his mother-in-law's mortgage is just absolutely, really cool to hear. Okay, yeah. So HexFlex actually is the hashtag to check out. So that's good to know for the future. Let me show you guys the HexFlex thing. Good to know. Good to know. You learn something new every day. So you can type in HexFlex. Check out this guy, Just Being Black, but Black is BLAKC. This guy has made a couple of raps. Actually makes some super good music. I want to play it here. I just need to make sure it's not like going to get me a strike or anything. But anyway, so he's got some really cool music. This guy, Travis Swisher, Let's make sure I'm following him. Yeah, so he says $40,000 CVO Harley, fully paid off with Hex interest gains. And notice how he said interest gains, So to the other guy that was kind of talking about, do you think it can do a 10x, a 50x, stuff like that? Yeah. In Hex, the beautiful thing is you can just scrape off a little bit of interest off the top. This is the one I was looking for. You can just scrape off a little bit of interest off the top and not have to sell your full principal. Like, how amazing is that? And with the 40% APY on the average stake, it's like, man, so amazing. And I'll take Trevon James. He was on stream with Whales Only, actually, yeah. And he said that he had seen me in the chat, and he's like, hey, I just want to, let the Hexican content creators know that you guys talk about how the price can pump a lot, but, you don't really talk much about how it can dump. And it's like, all right, hey, I appreciate the feedback. Like, I definitely take constructive criticism very well. And anyway, so the point is yeah, Hex has dipped multiple times. This is funny. We'll get to Bree's comment in a second. But Hex has dipped, what was it, like 70%, like 5 or 6 times, So it's definitely dipped. That's why I talk about that you need to, if you're going to be investing in something such as cryptocurrency, which is already a volatile asset, you want to have the longer term time horizon, because maybe you just got in at the top of a little market cycle there, and maybe for the next 3 months it consolidates downwards, but then goes up another 2 or 3x. So to Trevon's point, yes, Hex can definitely dip. It's not something that just pumps up into the right and forever, but when you zoom out, it does. So just depends on your time horizon. Let's see. I know Bree had a funny comment here. Watching BallietBran stream while stoned is a superior intelligence. Cheers to you on that. Pass that over here. It's always nice being on holiday. I love it, man. Mount Rushmore. Hey, I like this. Tin Top. Be cooler if Richard Hart's face was on top of that mountain. Hey, I totally like that. Yep. And Anonymous said the same thing too. I never tried to pronounce your last name, but yeah, I'm not even going to try. So yeah, Anonymous, we'll just call you that. I was looking for Richard Hart face when I saw Mount Rushmore. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, this was actually the main tweet that I had saved, but then I couldn't find it. So Jason Cruz 369, give him a follow. But so these are pretty much like documented, like I mentioned, Freddie quotes. We saw Overwatch. These are documented purchases that Hexicans have made with their gains or just whatever, with the abundance that they've had. So let's just take a look here. And what do you know? Like Bitcoiners, there's this one guy like John Kim, like he's somewhat big in the Litecoin community, bought like a Lamborghini with a Litecoin. It's like, oh, okay, it sucks for the person on the opposite side of that buy with the Litecoin, but look at how many sports cars, Hexicans have. So we got this amazing Ferrari, just such beauty, right? I think that wasn't Trevon up there with that wagon, but someone else. So anyways, that's a really cool tweet. And then I think there was let's take a look at this, so look at this, a nice little camper thing there. And, this guy did the Harley that he had mentioned. So just really cool to see. Oh, yeah. Forgot to include the 3 Teslas. Okay, cool. The 3 Teslas are down there. Awesome. Yeah, so I love to see it, right? I'm officially blind. That's hilarious. So that's when you type in the Hex Flex. And let's just, I got 1 more minute before Wales goes on. So let's see here. What else we got? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Robert, he was the one that had the yellow Ferrari. So this guy is actually a Bitcoin OG. And I remember when he first came in the Pulsechain telegrams, like, dude, when you got Bitcoin OGs and billionaires and stuff like that coming in the room and listening and asking questions and participating, like, that's not chump change, man. That's some real people that know a legitimate product and project such as Pulse when they see it. So, yeah, Jack, her and her husband, Jay Mills, so bought a 24-foot ice castle RV, and so pretty much a fishing camper. And then they also bought some super really cool truck. So that's cool there. Let's see. We'll wait for Wales to go live. What else we got? This is actually kind of funny. A little rabbit on a throne of carrots. All right. What else? Wow, this is cool. Oh, yeah. Exactly. So like I said, go to Overwatch's YouTube channel. Just Rackhammer Shell, type that in, because he's got this badass McLaren, and then he also bought a similar or the same watch that Richard has. But let's take a look at this. So yeah, that's his McLaren, and it showing the watch with the diamonds on the link too, which is amazing. So that's really cool. He like I mentioned, he's got a video too where he's driving the McLaren. He's got this really cool song in the background, I think called like After Dark. But yeah, really cool little driving video. Go check out his channel. And thanks again, Overwatch. Really cool. Fluffy little bunny. Camper van for me, not a trailer. Yeah, I think you definitely used the proper terminology. My bad terminology there. Benny Bills, slam the likes for Bran. Then we'll do the same for Wales. Yeah, totally. I think Wales is still setting up. I've got the phone on vibrate and got all the Hexicans on notification, right? So this will definitely go off when he goes live. But yeah, like I said earlier, let's get people like, what was his name? Sir Hexalot, I think. Let's get people like Sir Hexalot. Let's get him up to 1,000 subscribers so we can start, participating and donating and, getting him into the community. And, any person that's a Hexican that's new or that's even not new, you haven't been following them, give him a follow, give him a like, give him a retweet. That's something that Alan Bittner had been talking about a lot, 8-Bit Hex, that I really agree with, right? So if we are already pre-viral, let's help with what community we have. Let's help, boost each other to have that strong link. Lamborghini is nice, but look at all these books. Totally. I'll add a GTR to that list in about 18 months. Hey, nice, man. Nice. Give me a link, I'll buy. Blue Bum says, I'll be joking, guys, tomorrow, Bree and Children of the Grave. Got a magic carpet ride vape on the way. Hey, that's cool. Tin Top says, Kevin Vart, I'm with you. Can't relinquish those hex gains. Yeah, definitely. How I Made says, I wish Richard Hart has a lot of kids. Yeah, he's going to be around for forever, especially with all the Sens and Aubrey de Grey stuff. He's going to be around for a while. So, when the time comes, if it happens, stuff like that, I'm sure. But yeah, I would love to see that Mensa Genius IQ get transferred over into a little young protege, a little prodigy. Yeah, I love Black's stuff. Dude, that guy has some beats that are just like so slapping, just the bass is so heavy and it's nice, man. It's really cool. Yeah, Benny Bills, I agree, right? There's some people that are like, oh, I don't like to go on Twitter, but I'm in Hex and stuff like this. And it's like, well, you don't have to go on Twitter and look at the other stuff. Like, to Benny Bills' point, says, make a Twitter account if you haven't yet. I follow Hexicans and Pulsechains automatically. We are becoming a freaking force on Twitter. Yeah, we're becoming a force on Twitter, on YouTube. I mean, look at how many live streamers we have. There's a Hex Radio app, which does its own 24-hour live stream, right, of the Pulsechain Comp Telegram. But then we've got Discourse Syndicate Network. We've got just so many people that it's almost hard to keep up with. Like I said, I turn on the notifications for all the Hexicans and, Richard Hart's tweets and stuff like this, but the phone is just going off constantly. So it's definitely a good sign. Lamborghini, a waste of good crypto. It's an expensive car after another 10x. Well, he did also say that he's a billionaire, and sometimes when you're a billionaire, a $500,000 car, $300,000, I don't even know what it is, $1 million maybe, that's 1/1000th of a billion. So I see what you mean. But there's a point of wealth that, like Richard mentions, like he couldn't spend, all of his money if he had wanted to. So it's kind of one of those things. Hey, what's up, my friend? I need to get your message. I'll check it in just a second. Sens are going to pump that man full of everything and make him live to 122. Agreed. Yeah, Sir Hex-A-Lot channel. Yeah, exactly. Go click Benny's link and check out Sir Hex-A-Lot. He, he's done a handful of streams here and there. And I might join his stream tomorrow. I might be busy as well, so I'm not too sure. But I would definitely love to jump on and at least support him and maybe download it and then copy it on my channel so people could see the origination. It's not expensive if the money spent doesn't negatively impact your life in any way. True. So I think 1,000. Yeah, why not? Not Pulse, but Hex did over 1,000x in its first year. And why not Pulse? So they say, J Domino says, how many X's do you think Pulse will reach in a year? Yeah, I mean, I think 1,000. I think Toby also said that he thinks in a year and a half it could be, what did he say, 1,500x? Definitely possible. I mean, people like to think that these numbers are just like magical and whatnot, but like it really is the powerful aspect of cryptocurrency in programmed money, right? Our programmed money is better than the government's programmed money. It's one of the sayings that Richard Hart has said that I just love. Wells only, how you doing? Oh, going live. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for the update there. Let me share the screen right quick. All right, Wells, you're going to have 143 people coming over. All right, let me just copy that link for everyone. All right, y'all. So we're going to end the stream here in just 1 minute. I just posted the link, so go check it out. Wells only is going live. Let's support the Hexican. Thanks for the donations over here, but go give him some donations over there. He does great work, does great charts. And yeah, we got 142 people still watching. So go over to Whale's channel, give him a subscribe, give him a like. I'm going to end the stream right now, and then I'll be over on his comment section too, just helping mod. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Rackham, and I'll see everyone next time.